let's get some Kubernetes work done. I actually need to turn my server on. Oh, that's not the port it's on is 207. Yeah. I forget that it's the machine that's on 111 or on 11, but its ILO 4 is on 207. And there it goes. That will take it just a little while. Oops, wrong one. Let's go there. Oh, I've been pushing this off. We should go ahead and update. It will take a little while for the server to boot up. It takes about a minute and a half for it to post. Or for the BIOS to post. Because it's a server, it runs through all of its system checks and whatnot on startup, so it takes it a little while. Not too long, though. Alright, let's find some music. We need something good for busting out some code. I need to get a decent amount of code busted out. Let's see what that does. I'm a little scared. Alright, I was not scared enough. Let's see. I just heard the server fans die down. Means it should be posted. The BIOS should have now. Alright, so that means we can try to go ahead and SSH over there. Sweet. Alright, we'll take it a little while to start up. I don't think we need anything else for right now. We're not doing any of the Kubernetes the hardest way or anything. Or actually, let me post that in chat. I actually did finally release the first of those videos on my YouTube. That would be this link here. All right. I really should make a script to start those and stop those. Maybe we can do that. Maybe we can do that. I won't be streaming probably next week. I might make it next week. I will be in Taiwan next week. I thought about trying, but my time's going to be all wonky and off anyhow. And there wasn't a whole lot of point. All right, let's go over here. I did not get nearly as much done on this as I wanted to over the break. We were sick a little bit, and then we were just super busy. I didn't even get to stream Tuesday because of that. Yeah, I was not happy about that. This music is terrible. One second, I need to change it. Let's see. This has got to be better. I can't get worse. Ooh, let's try that. I saw the words experimental and they didn't need to say anything more. All right. There we go. Don't do this if you're doing Kubernetes, at least with Visual Studio Code. I have found that this only caused me heartache. I think it works to a certain point, but I think Kubernetes just has too many files to actually watch all of them. All right, where were we? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We were moving, run pre-flight checks, and then that's when we realized that really we need to get rid of this flag thing because the flag kept giving us problems. And that's when we went here, command phases. All right, so this is... Did I change this to data and not upgrade data? It should be like plan data. Land data. Or not plan, node. Node data, and this would be upgrade data. we'll say this should be upgrade. The upgrade data from command. This should be upgrade here. All right. I probably shouldn't. I'm going to come back and rename this to node data. I'm not going to this commit, just because it doesn't really have to do with this commit. This commit, we're doing this, but it should be upgraded or updated to that. But that keeps its change all in its logical self. I'm not having great time with this music. Not having good luck. All right. No matter. We'll just leave it for right now. I need to get... All right. So this was a copy and paste of init data from... What was that from? This was a copy and paste from init data from the init phases. And this is where this is going to be really helpful because we always had a problem with carrying this around, and this is how this is going to work. And it is going to give us a lot of help. We do need to make sure we have the imports for these. I don't know exactly where this comes from. We'll go find it. Let's actually go find it. All right, let's go to init data, and we can find where the init is. Okay, here we go. It's from here and Aya. We need both of these here. Oops, that did not. That was disaster. All right. I'm not sure that we need all of these. We need to run through. Some of these are easy. Upgrade takes an init configuration, so init configuration, dry run, yes. Possibly. I'm not sure about these. I think that this is where you... Actually, I don't know that these are needed. I'm gonna just put a... Just as a warning to myself to check these. All right, dry run for sure. I need to think on this one. Possibly, but probably not. I don't think so. I don't think we want this one. I'm gonna take it out for right now. Ignore pre-flight errors. Yes, we want that. Certificate write directory. I don't think we want these. I'm pretty sure we don't. We'll need to look through. And my goal is to just add some of the ones that we need for the first bit. So it doesn't have to be complete. Cube config directory. Yes, yes. Do we need this? Do we need to know the manifest? I think so. We probably need to know all of those. Output writer, yes. Client, yes. Token. I don't think so. And we're going to have to look on customize directory. All right. So this is a good start to start out with. You know, honestly, we might not need these since we're not initializing. I actually don't think that we need these. There are a few that we're missing. Okay. There are a few that we're missing that I just know off the top of my head. And we'll go look at what those are and we'll add them. Literally worst music. Let me find another one. Another. This might be too upbeat for me. All right. So ignore pre-flight. Okay, let's go and find. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the music. I really wanted to find something that I could put on the stream. So I didn't feel like I have to fill every second. But if it gets too distracting, I'll just drop it. And this is something that also won't get the videos muted. So I thought it was a win-win. All right, let's see, apply, here we go. This is where we're updating the things. This is where we're going to call them. So we need the apply plan flag, so we do need the config path. So these, basically, we're going to get rid of all these things by just one object that we pass in, instead of having a bunch of different little things. So ignore pre-flight errors is going to be in there. Both ignore pre-flight errors. Yeah. And this all came to light. Why did this come to light where we had to do it? So we were avoiding doing it, and then it came down to something down here. I don't remember. This is why you shouldn't not work on something for 2 weeks. We were trying to break out something down here, and we couldn't do it without actually making the structure. Okay. I don't remember what it was. Oh! It was with the pre-flight checks. And so when we moved the pre-flight checks, I remember now. Okay, we'll have to go find this because it doesn't undeclared. What? Pre-flight definitely has run pre-flight checks. Did we not include pre-flight up here? That would be silly. Doesn't look like we included the path. Wait. It's right here. This should have it. Let's see. Phases, init, upgrade. Oh, but this would need to be in the back end, so it would be not under command. It would be under phases, upgrade, pre-flight. Run pre-flight check phase. Right here. So, do we not include it? No, we don't. Let's add that include. Phases upgrade. I think that's it. Let's see, upgrade pre-flight. And then this is actually going to be, the package is probably upgrade, yeah, upgrade. So we can go back here, and where it says pre-flight, this should be upgrade. The only reason we would do that is, was there a conflict I didn't see? Let's see. Oh, there is, so. All right, so this would be upgrade phases. It'll take just a second to run. Let's find another station. Let's see. I need more chill. All right. Undeclared name U. Possibly it's crapping out on me here. Let's just try. You know what? I committed a sin up here. I wish we camel case these because it's easier for me to read. All right, what am I missing here? I did go with the experimental, so this is why you don't go experimental. All right. Lesson learned. Is this the right upgrade? Get variable, upgrade variables. See, there's upgrade in this one, and there's upgrade where this one is pointing to. So I'm worried that we changed it. So there's this upgrade, and then there's this upgrade. Both have this, get upgrade variables. We'll have to go back and see. I'm still confused as to what its undeclared name U. Alright, let's actually go back up here, see if I screwed something up here. No, that looks right. Oh. Oh wait, is this a re-import? No, it's not. Wait. Maybe it is. No, it's not. Oh, it's actually just a bad import. I forgot the CMD. Right, I need... Okay, so it was imported. Okay. It was a bad import. And that's what was causing the problems. And then down here we can just delete this. Actually, we still need... upgrade, probably. And why wasn't it getting this in the first place? It still says undeclared, but that's exactly where this comes. Get upgrade variables. Maybe I shouldn't have switched to the experimental. Yeah, it'll be fine. Usually I have pretty good luck with the experimental. And honestly, couldn't be a whole lot worse. That looks right. App. Phases upgrade. And this is enforce requirements. Run pre-flight. Look, here it is. I found it. Imported, but not used as config-util. Does this file not use this? Maybe it's just all hung up on the imports. Delete it though. No reason to be upset. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, but that doesn't exist anymore, so stop saying it's wrong. Alright, here, it doesn't like something. Okay. So it finds this one. Ah, it finds it now. So it was just upset about that lower import for some reason. I don't know. So this is on the new language server for Go. Let's see if we can't find it. Anyways, maybe... Yeah, it's working. Alright, so now we have ignore pre-flight error set. We have that already in our data. Yep. So the few that I want is this cube config path. We have dry run, user version. Okay, I don't know if we have version in there. Do we have a version? I don't think so. I don't see it, so. And we want that as a version getter here. Oh, I don't know where that was imported from. Let's see. Oh, okay. It's from the same upgrade. Do we need to pass this, or do we just want to pass the string and build it? So we can do what this does here. Let's go back. No, we can't go back. Oh, wait. So here in the get upgrade variables, you pass the user version as a string. And then in get user version, let's see, it does some checks on it. It applies it to the config. Oh, here we go. Oh, and then it makes a new cube version getter. New offline version getter. Yeah, sorry. This is passed into this. Okay, so it makes one of these with it. Yeah, I'd be inclined to put this in our data structure. I think it's fine. Alright, so if that's... But then we'd have a circular reference, because this would refer to the data, and this would refer to... because it's in the same package, upgrade. So we can't actually do that. Let's see, they did the Kubernetes dir kube config. Fairly positive we can delete these. Yeah, I don't know. We can just do it as a string. And then... So if we do it as a string here, you could always build... Well... You could always build one of these if you had the client standard out in this, which you do. So you could always build this. Do we want to build this every time we use it? The problem is data sits over here. We can't have a circular reference to it. Why does data sit in the front end? Oh, it needs to. No, why does it sit in the front end? Why did we define these in the front end under command phases instead of phases? So we put it under, well, I mean, that's where everybody does. Everybody's data sits here. Oh, wait, okay. This is the interface, which sits in the front end, which would make sense. Your public interface is what the front end would use to interface with it. I would assume that, let's see, the init data, so the backend data would be under command init.go. And here is their actual backing data type and where they lock it into it. Okay. But this is still the front end. So their backend doesn't ever exist. That means when they cast it, when the backend uses this, so let's go. Oh, wait, maybe I'm confused. Yeah, init.go. Right here. Here's the command. We're adding phases. So let's check this out. This is one of the phases. Wait. Actually, I want to go back. So this is when they build the command. Here's our init data. And we're going to take this data, the init data. So all of these things, all of these phases are in the back end. So how do these use the data? Alright, let's see. So they take the workflow run data and they cast it to data, to init data. But this exists. This is still in the front end, I guess. This is where they check the data for dry run. What else do they do? Okay, so they still pass everything in. So this data, they don't pass this data structure back. Okay, so this data structure stays purely in the front end still. It never hits the back end phase. Okay, we can do that. Maybe not how I would have designed it, but there's probably a good reason for it. So if this is the case, user version kind of has to be done this way. And it just returns a string. And if you want more than that, you're going to have to make it yourself. And all of these functions, instead of passing just one thing, we're still going to have to pass this. But it's just going to be kubeconfig path and config path from our data. Okay, so let's add those. Kubeconfig path, we need this one. Kubelet directory. We need along with, one second, I don't see it. So let's do this one. We need that one. So we have our kubeconfig path, our config path, dry run, user version. Did I get rid of, no, user version's there. We don't need these. We don't need these. Don't need that. I'm still... We might need those. Alright, so we have everything we need for here. Alright, this is passing pre-flight errors as a string. And it's returning our pre-flight set, which is really would be done when we're building this data object. Actually, this is building the data object too. All right. We need to set this, and we have that, right? Yeah. The ignore pre-flight error set. What does it not like about this? Cannot use. Oh, it wants the version here. Wait, that's what this is. Oh, these are switched. That's all. All right, that should fix that. Now run pre-flight checks. Should enforce requirements. This should also pull, right? Pre-flight checks phase. Yes, this should also pull, and it doesn't do that yet. And it just returns an error. Okay. I'm still confused as to why we decided that we needed this right now. I'm gonna actually just delete these and we can add them back when we figure we need them. Alright, so we have our pre-flight checks. Let's start moving more stuff into run pre-flight checks phase. Per our document, let's pull up that document. Docs.google.com. Alright, so in our pre-flight phase, we need validation and pull image checks pre-pull. Yep. Alright. So we need to bring into this our pre-flight pre-pull checks. These right here. I think all of this is part of that, but... Oh, this waiter. This waiter should probably be part of this this data object. I don't know if that makes sense. What is the waiter? Is that in the back end or the front end? Let's see, this is in command upgrade common. So it's in the front end, so it should be fine. Wait, API client, where's that from? This might be in the back end. Okay, this should be fine. I think we should be able to make this a waiter. So we can add this. And then we need to import the API client. All right. So All right, we are in the run pre-flight check. And this is running in the back end. We need to pull in this stuff. So we have the waiter. We're going to leave the waiter out here. And let's see, new daemon set puller, components to pull to pre-pull. All of this is stuff we need. Okay. So this can all go into our pre-flight. And we don't need to use upgrade. We're gonna have to pass in etcd upgrade. Hey, thanks for the follow. Hope you're enjoying it. Hopefully we can find a good music station. I'm trying to find a stream-friendly music station. But so far, I don't know. Maybe my tastes are a little too particular. Yeah, hopefully we do a lot of Kubernetes stuff on here. I do Kubernetes work for my job. And I try to commit to the upstream Kubernetes project, and that's what I'm doing. Or trying. I'm relatively new to the whole code base for Kubernetes, so I'm no expert. So if you are, welcome to the stream. I could use your help. It's a really big project, all written in Go, and oh yeah, did you like it? I actually have that class. It's on my repertoire of classes to watch. I haven't actually completed it. I got their holiday bundled. It was like I got both the Kubernetes cluster administrator and Kubernetes application developer bundle. It was like $300. I got both of those. Figured I needed to take both since I work a lot with Kubernetes. But I haven't actually started watching them. Meant to, though. Yeah. It's, yeah. I'm not super new to Kubernetes. I've been dealing with it on and off for a while. Now it's my full-time job. So I work for a company called OpenSUSE, managing their platform for managed Kubernetes. So I'm ramping up quickly on it. Let's see. Well, technically I work for SUSE, not OpenSUSE. SUSE owns OpenSUSE, but whatever. Everybody knows OpenSUSE, and if I say SUSE, then sometimes people get confused. I used to, for the longest of time before I actually worked for them, called it SUSE, like SUSE. I called it OpenSUSE, SUSE. And then I met somebody that called it Susie, and then I started working for them and found out that we were both wrong. It's SUSE, like Porsche. All right, we need the waiter. What type is this? Oh, this is getting unmanageable. Oh, really? That's cool. That's way deeper than I have ever gotten into OS programming. So awesome for you. I have never done that. I would like to, if I had the time. I would like to get into some more kernel stuff. The only kernel stuff I get into is stuff related to containers, because I do Kubernetes stuff. So, other than that, I'm pretty weak on. I'm pretty weak on Linux kernel stuff. I actually was a Windows developer and did like DirectX hardware stuff for a long time, so that's kind of where I'm more familiar. So I get a lot of hate on from my colleagues. I cannot find the stupid import for this. Oh, there we go. Alright, so we have our waiter. Now this stuff should be happy, right? Oh, well, one second. We have the constants. We need to pass the etcd upgrade flag. I imagine this is just a bool, so we'll write it in as a bool and we'll update it if it's not. Ooh, we also need to fix this because we don't have the flags anymore. This is probably where we looked about doing the data, but the problem is we can't do that data structure with this workup. We still have to just pass everything. Alright, so we should probably just keep it the same and call it etcd upgrade. I don't Yoda speak much, but I don't correct it if I see it either. But yeah, feel free to. I'm here learning, so if you see something, feel free to speak up. Or if you have any questions, feel free to speak up. On Tuesdays, we do Kubernetes the hardest way. I'm actually converting those to YouTube. Here, let me pull those up. I can get you a link really quickly. I'm condensing them because it's like an hour and we talk about the different things and do all the different things. There's the link to YouTube. And so I'm condensing our Tuesdays Kubernetes the hardest ways down to a more streamlined, if you're ever interested. Alright, let's find where this constants came from. Anyways, yeah, you should join me for those if you'd be interested. I won't be streaming next week because I'm out of country. So yeah, I'll be out of country, and I thought about trying to stream while I was out, but I'm sorry. I don't have the hardware to do that, and yeah. No, I'm not going to Germany this time. I sometimes go to Germany. And that would be a good guess and tells you you know where our my company is based out of. I'll probably be going to Germany in late February, early March. So we have a team meeting there. But we actually have a group of guys in Taipei, Taiwan, and I'm going to go out there and see them for a little bit, well, for a week. I've never actually met any of those guys. So that's one of my priorities going out there. But yeah, those videos on YouTube are highly condensed. But we're just doing Kubernetes image. I thought I did this. Did I not? Oh, it's a time duration. Okay, that's fine. And I think that import, I might be good enough at Go to do that. Is this? Yeah, they're meant to just give a good high overview. Yeah. So that's what they're meant to do, because I'm doing the Kubernetes Hightower, or Kelsey Hightower's Kubernetes the hard way. But I'm doing it on KVM instead of using the Google Cloud infrastructure. There's a few changes. It's not too bad. All right, that seems to have done it. Let's see what this is. Oh, I have 152 problems. That's not too bad. This is actually, I need to fix this in the language server so it stops. C-spell is killing me. So I really only have 3 bad errors. Alright. Sure. Version getter needs to be used. I don't know where. I broke this. We need to go look that up. It should be used, though. I'm kind of scared that it's not, because it means I broke something. Alright, so now we need to add all the calls to this. So we added a few. After dry run, we have the waiter, the upgrade etcd, and the image pool timeout. So the waiter is easy. That's here. And now we can add the waiter here. Alright, what's the next one? Just tell me. Alright, we did the waiter, etcd upgrade. I'm assuming that's flags. Looking good. All right, and the last one is image pool timeout. So yeah, about 6 months ago, I started to get into the upstream Kubernetes project, and it was really hard. I had a lot of struggles doing it. I'm not a super confident person anyways. And it's probably been 9 months now. And I started doing it like 2 hours twice a week, and I wasn't making a whole lot of progress. And so then I thought that I would try to help others if I could. And so that's why I started streaming. So hopefully this helps some other people get into an open source project. At least you're probably smarter than I am, and so you can do it too if I can. That's the motto here. All right. We need to now figure out what we screwed up with this version getter. So I feel like it should be used here or here, possibly here, because basically this version getter was, oh, you know what we can do? We can look at plan. Plan still uses enforce, what we broke out, right? Yeah. So this is what we broke out. I have. I actually, it's on my list of things to make videos about those as well. Just last Thursday, we did a k3s and k3s versus k8s. And if you have any requests to have some of those demoed and whatnot, I would love to. So if you'd like me to do one about Nomad versus Docker Swarm, if we really need to bring up Docker Swarm. I actually liked Docker Swarm. I would be happy to do them. I need a little bit of time to prepare a little bit, but let's go over here and so these are the Kubernetes the hard way, but if you see, I also have a VM that was, I need to delete it, we're done, but this was a k3s stuff. But yeah, we go over all different types of Kubernetes related things. So I would say competitors is in line with that. A lot of the times it's, so far, the only things I've done was k3s versus k8s. And how they differ. And then the one prior to that was mesh versus traffic. And then I was planning on doing a service mesh one, because I get a lot of questions about service meshes in Kubernetes. So. So Nomad is cool in one regard that I really like. Let me open. Let's do this. All right. So you know, in Kubernetes, you have your control plane. This will be our control plane node, and in it we have the API server. The kube scheduler, and all your control planes. We can go over the control plane components if you like. But anyways, you have all these different components, and you can either have etcd in here, You can either have etcd in here in a stack configuration, or you can have etcd out here in its own cluster. And it has quite a bit of complexity. The really nice thing about Nomad is it's a single binary. It uses the Raft protocol, but it's all internal. It's Raft protocol that runs, unlike etcd as its own, is internal. So, you know, you make 3 nodes and it manages all of that itself, which is really nice from an end user standpoint. And this is probably my biggest thing. It's a single binary instead of this in so when you're going through here and you go to provisioning the control plane and you get to the Kubernetes API server, the controller manager, the scheduler, controller, all of these things start to add up, and in Nomad, all it is Nomad. That's my biggest thing I like best about Nomad versus Kubernetes. You lose some freedom with that, and why I say that is K8s ripped out etcd and replaced it with a local SQLite storage, and that was kind of cool. And because it was separated like that, it kind of made it lent itself to doing that. Whereas with Nomad, it doesn't really lend itself to be configured in any other way or any of those types of things done to it. So yeah, but if you're just wanting a large production cluster, Nomad, I've never run a production cluster of Nomad. Let me clarify. But from the simplicity standpoint, it looks much simpler. And I've run a local cluster. All right, sorry. You guys bait me into my chats, my monologues, I think one person called it. All right, so we have those. And I absolutely cannot type and talk at the same time. Unless if I'm typing what I'm talking. That deal's okay. Oh no, it's fine. I love this area, and I do a lot of study into it and research, so I like talking about it. And I want to do some fun projects on stream with it. Oh, like one of the things I want to do is use runc and Kata containers and make a cluster that has both virtual machines and containers run in the same cluster. I think it would be fun to just prove how hard it would be to do, and yeah. So yeah, you have runv and runc. So runc is what runs containers for pretty much everything. Containerd uses runc. Yeah, pretty much everything uses runc. And then there's runk, is it? I think it's runk. I will not click on an Urban Dictionary link. What is it? Rund maybe. Anyways, they have a run something for. Let's see. I have that link. 1 second. Here we go. This. So this is using the Kata runtime, and yeah, cryo. What is Kata based? Like, it uses run something or other. Ooh, which we might be able to pack with Firecracker VMs. So anyways, I want to do this. This would be fun to do on stream. Make a kind of fun little production cluster. That's the other thing that I want to do is I want to actually make it a production cluster that we like maintain in DigitalOcean probably to keep my costs down. So we can have a place where we actually run a production something, but and we can all see its status. I want to get a good way for everybody to be able to see its status. But that's in the works. Right now, I kind of need to get this done. All right. Invalid import path. Is it not time? I thought for sure it was time. So that is for... Okay, yeah, again, probably not next week. I'll be on the opposite side of the world. So even if I did stream, it's going to be at a probably crazy time. But yeah, definitely the Tuesday after that, we'll be doing Kubernetes the hard way again. And we're on role-based access, so yeah. Have a good lunch. Ah, right here. This is where we use version getter. And this is used right here. Version getter. Thank you very much. So version getter needs to be... why? We're passing a version here, but version getter here. What does enforce policies do with the version getter? Okay, it's looking for version skew errors. That makes sense. So we need a version getter. I forget what that is. It's like this. Oops. Hey, I am working on Kubernetes. Actually, well, more specifically, this is a feature for kubeadm on Kubernetes. Kubeadm is a tool used to create Kubernetes clusters. So in general, I do three things on this stream. Sorry, I just hit the mic. I do three things on this stream. I write some tools for streamers, and I say some tools like I've actually made a complete one. I just started writing some tools for streamers, some open source tools, because there's not a whole lot of open source streamer tools that are actually good. And actually, one of the reasons I'm doing that is to support the other two things. So the other thing I do is I work on Kubernetes. This is kind of part of my day job. I do it on my own, and my day job is all about Kubernetes itself. And the other thing is we explore Kubernetes technologies, and so one of the things I wanted to do for the stream was to actually provide a running cluster that we can play around with, but kind of supports a production. And so one of those things was, let's write some tools that are designed to run in Kubernetes, and let's run them together. And for me, I need the tool to actually be useful. So, yeah. So, yeah. That's what we're doing. I'm not a Go expert, but I do okay. We need to import wherever time comes from, which I have no idea. I thought it was from time. That's what I thought. That is what I did here, and it complained. Could not import. 1 second. It's still complaining about it, but I think it's high. It's like it stopped at T. Not missing something, am I? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna try to go forward. I did time first, and then it complained about it, so I assumed that I just didn't know the import. But that's what's imported here. So I'm just gonna move forward and pretend. I am actually using the brand new language, the Go language server, and so it's still pretty unsteady. So I'm assuming maybe I've hit another bug in it. It is better. It's a whole lot faster than the old one. Undeclared name time. Well, that's because you're not using my import. And upgrade is also imported, didn't I? I imported upgrade. Let's see. Oh no, we're in upgrade. That's actually a legitimate one. This is legitimate. And now this we can use here. Run pre-flight checks. So the new language server runs a lot faster. Sometimes what I think happens is that it stumbles on one error and then it compiles down. It's almost like C++ 10 years ago when like you'd have a problem in header file X, but it had like 12 random errors in your one CPP file, where like cascading of errors just made it crap out. That's what this language server seems to be having. Possibly, but I think it's actually the language server that's running, and I could try to restart it, but I think that it's kind of one of the features of running on a bleeding edge language server. It is literally high, though. There is no period here. It's saying it right here, right? Oh. It Okay, we're ignoring that one for right now. Let's move on to real ones. Imported but not used. Great. Let's get rid of it. Sweet. Too many arguments. That's a lie. This has not changed. How did it change? Uh-oh. That means we're pointing to a different one. This new cube version getter. This hasn't changed. That means that this is pointing to a different new cube version getter. There must be two of these. Let's find all references. There must be two of these. Actually, that might... Let's search like this. Yes, Go has first-class functions. Go is a lot like C. It's kind of like a crappy C. I did not change this function. What did we do to this file last? We took out a few imports that said they weren't used anymore. We just looked at this. Sorry, I don't know what happened here. Something... Something's wrong here. I don't know. Maybe that's too strong. I like a lot of aspects about it. There's a lot of stuff that I don't like. And it's not as... There are some weird things that I don't like. So one is its package management. But C has really terrible package management, so I guess really crappy compared to C. That doesn't really work. The other thing that I really don't like is this is something. This function is public. And by public, I mean package public. It's public to everybody. This is a private function. And by private, I mean package private, which means everybody that's in the same package, kind of like Java, this package here, can access it. So all 20 files that are in the same package can access that function. So if you make a private function on an object, it's actually only private to everybody else that's in that. Its access controls in the language seem really weak. You get a lot of just pure public things. The other thing I don't like is I don't like implicit versus implicit function. I would much rather public or pub or whatnot. It's not that much harder every once in a while to type public, and it's explicit. I much rather explicit than implicit. Whereas this, like, I made it capital, and now all of a sudden making my function name capital has changed how my function interacts. Those are the types of things that Go does that I don't really like. It has the concepts of pointers versus references, but you use dot notation on all of them. And I used to think when I did C++, when I was mainly doing C++, I actually used to think that the compiler should know whether it's a reference of a pointer, and I should be able to use a period no matter what. The problem is, when it matters, it's really nice. You know, if you've accessed A like this, and this is, you know, if you see this, you know that A is a pointer, and you know what it is. But since Go implicitly does this, in this example, A is a pointer and B is a reference, and guess what? You don't know which one's which. I guess they want it to be that way, but again, I much rather explicit than implicit. Let's see. As a language construct, it's tabs, not spaces. That's not a big deal to me. I generally don't care as long as you are consistent. You know, if the whole project uses tabs, great, use tabs. If it all uses spaces, great, use spaces. Don't really care. But it's a little strange that it's the only one that uses tabs, really. There's no implicit error handling, and so I don't really like the error handling at all. It's probably the worst feature. Yes, you would call it with a capital. Absolutely. Yeah, its error handling is bad, and it doesn't do some of the nicer things like in Rust or C++ where you can chain calls. You can't do that. And in fact, now maybe this is my bad. I don't see it done. Kubernetes is about the only Go that I've ever done. And I don't see it, but I don't see where you do like this. You know, you wrap the return statement. This always gives me an error. Maybe there's a way to do it. Actually, we should go look it up because it really annoys me. The Kubernetes project does not do it at all. You'll see these things that go way out into the middle of nowhere, and that annoys the... No, maybe line wrap. Line wrap. I'm not a very good... Oh, so this is why. Right, just because this gets really long. It looks like after a comma is acceptable. So we could do this. You just can't do it here because the compiler will insert a semicolon there. So then you could do it here. Okay. That's at least better, but... Anyways, in the Kubernetes project, they don't do that. They just let it all hang off over here on the side. I'm not big of enough of a name in the... I just follow their lead, which kind of annoys me because it gets stupid long. I haven't tried. The formatter leaves it like this, so the formatter doesn't complain with this here, and it doesn't format it the other way. I don't know if it would complain though if you changed it. So like if I did this, I don't know that the formatter would. We can try it though. The formatter will complain right now because I have broken stuff. So as soon as I don't have broken stuff, we can try the formatter. Yeah, the formatter. So the formatter likes it like this. And so I leave it like this because the formatter likes it that way, and that's what the rest of the community does. I really don't like it because, as you can see, even in our just little bit here, we have something that goes over to all the way over here. And this is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, this is ridiculous. It's not kind of. Once I actually do more work for them and I'm not a nobody, I'm going to argue that we start wrapping some lines. It is a code smell. It's not might. It is. So what we've been doing, the problem with this code smell, it's one we can't work around very easily. So all of these things are actually flags of a different structure, but that structure is in the front end code, which can't be in the back end code. And for right now, there's not much we can do about that. No, you're absolutely right. So the only other option here is to write a second structure, which then you convert the one structure into the second structure and then use the second structure. But I feel like that's just as bad. I don't know. In my opinion, having a second structure just as an intermediary structure also feels bad because now you have to maintain that structure. So you are not wrong. I don't disagree. Always pull up, especially if you see something I do that's a code smell. I love learning from other people's insight, and I agree with you. This is a code smell. And we don't use this all over the place. This is just running pre-check phases. That's pretty much all it's used for. So, yeah. And I'm going to challenge myself to go back over and see if there's any way we can clean up some of this, because there's some stuff that's a little suspect here. Like, we pass in a version as well as a version getter, which looks like it should be required, but might not have to be. The waiter's required, the dry run's required, feature gate string required. So we might be able to clean up some of it. Absolutely, and that's what this stream is for. So, yeah. Right now, I also always try to think in the confines of the change that we're making. So our current change was to run all pre-flight phases in one location. So I'm trying to make as few changes as possible to get that. And then we can make another commit to update some other things that, are maybe some code smells. Which I think this is really nasty. We should try to do something about this. This hurts my soul just a little bit. You know what I'm thinking is, this version getter is created here. Is created here. And if we go here, this version getter is just created here, which we need to figure out why this thinks that it's no longer exists. This has not changed for a long time. Anyways, this version getter is is created here, and I think that this version getter is only used here. So maybe instead of passing it in here, we actually just create it here based off of the version string, which we pass in. Yeah, this string right here. So it might be better to just use this version string and create the version getter in here. That might help our code just a little bit. Yeah, you know what? As more languages you've used, so I've used C++. I've done a lot of C++, a little bit of Java, some Go now, some JavaScript. I've been getting a little into Rust. More languages you touch, the more the same they are. The same code smells exist across languages. They all are opinionated in some ways, except C++. C++ has no opinion. That's its opinion, is that it's not going to hold an opinion. Yeah, anyways, you see the same things over and over again. I need to go get some water. I'm going to be right back. And then we can look into figuring out why this function doesn't think it exists. And it honestly doesn't that I can see, but that shouldn't be right. We didn't change it. Oh, I'm glad you like the color. That's good. Sorry, that was a much longer break than I had meant to take. I sometimes get bombarded. If I go upstairs, my children think it's fair game. So. Yes. All right. You run pre-flight checks. Okay, we're still looking. Okay, I need to figure out what happened here. My search says that there is no new cube version getter that requires this, but we literally did not touch this. Let's check out Git and see what Git says. Because I'm positive I didn't touch it. Let's see. This is in upgrade. Go upgrade. Let's see. App phases upgrade. Okay. And that was, what was that? That was upgrade.go. Yep. Okay. Wait, that does not exist here. 1 second. Don't tell me this is a new file that we've made so far. This actually might be a new file. So get variable up. Okay, this was pulled out of the front end. So that's partially what this cleanup was to do. Was to pull out things that were not supposed to be in the front end. Front end versus back end, for those of you who might have not been here for the entire time. We have, let's look at the command structure here. We have this concept of the front end versus the back end. And basically, this is the back end, this is the front end. And the front end is all the things that are accessible and configurable by the user in the command line. And the back end is everything else. And there was crap in the front end that wasn't supposed to be in there. And so we were moving it into the back end. It was causing some problems with circular dependencies because it was supposed to be in the back end. All right. So now we need to know where we got this from. Actually, what we can do is let's just search for this. In this repository. Okay, guys, I screwed something up. It literally has only ever been called with client. How did I do this? I'm flummoxed as to how that's there. If it never existed there. I mean, I guess I just sleptwalked and added it for kicks and giggles. Okay. You're still high. All right. That looks good. That does not. Okay. Enforce upgrade version. Wait a second. Did we change these? Added time. Okay. These look all right. Yeah. So we added the enforced requirements. So I guess where I was getting at was here on enforce upgrade version policies. This doesn't look like it was updated. Like either I just copied and pasted, dumped this. Wait, where does this gets used up here? I don't think I ever updated this to run here because we can't pass all the flags. You just have to pass what you need. This apply flags is the flags that aren't available to us. They're in the front end. So yeah, we did add that this time. Okay. Then we need to update that. So what do we use flags for? Allow experimental upgrades. Ugh. And this is where, okay, we need to figure out this code smell because you're absolutely right. To get a new parameter here that's not the flags, we have to add the parameters here to enforce upgrade version policies. And this is probably exactly what caused us to go and look to try to fix it earlier today. But that means that this function needs it because it has flags. And that means that this function needs the new flags that we need, which are all new ones. And this is the code smellish one. There is the concept of this data. And so this is what we started to combat that. Is we were going to build a structure. And so this does happen. We can look at other examples. Let's see. Init. This is the one we were looking at. So the init phases, this is another thing that does it. Does this init data. But this init data is only used in the front end. It's basically getting all the stuff off the command line. And we can go ahead and look at where's this used. Whoa. So let's see. We can go to... So this is in the app command. So this is still front end command, not phases. you'll notice there's no backend calls. Yep. And when it says run init node checks, it runs all of them. Or it passes everything it needs into it. So it basically, so this is a backend call. This here is, oh, I forgot, double click will take me. So here, it uses it and just calls all the things to it. Which doesn't help us. Let's see how they did their pre-flight. So their pre-flight's a lot. They don't pass nearly as much. Wait, let's look at join. Join would be closer because there's already a cluster created. So init is a little bit simpler, probably. Maybe was our problem. We didn't look at the actual apples to apples. And this looks more like the type of information we would need. Command phases join, so this is where join is used. Yeah. Go isn't terrible. I have some of my complaints with it, for sure, 100%. It's not as bad as JavaScript or PHP or Fortran or Java. I guess I could list a few others like Perl. Oh, really? I'm not great at Python. I'm okay. I can write Python. Although I have some colleagues that complain that I might as well not write Python. Haskell, I've only actually ever played around with. You have a job that lets you write Haskell? That's awesome. I didn't know that anything production was written in it. I don't know. It doesn't seem very popular. Nice. Okay, well. Let's see. I've been doing a lot with Rust versus Haskell. What are your opinions on Rust, if you have any? I mean, not that I expect you to be an expert on all of them. I really like Cargo. Cargo sells me on Rust a lot. If you're allowed, what do you research, by the way? Oh, I know. Who does true functional programming except for a few researchers who haven't actually written a real world application? That was a purposeful jab. Oh, that's cool. That's what I've always gotten into. And really, deep learning applied to birds? That sounds interesting. I make noise. It's about the only thing I'm really good at. I think that's maybe one of the more struggles I have with pure functional. I don't think Go or Rust. I think you could do it in Rust. I think you could do pure functional in Rust. I'm sorry. I mean, they have functions are first class citizens. So if you wanted. I am an animal. Come on. What type of scientist are you? I'm just teasing, by the way. I think that if you wanted to write in Rust, pure functional in Rust. Let's see. Sorry, you got me on this. I think you can do it. So let's just quickly open up this. So like, since functions are first class citizens, you can do pure functional in Rust. I'm like 95% sure that you can do pure functional. From the Haskell, I think it doesn't force you to do it. So I guess from the purest Haskell, I don't know, Haskell. I've never actually heard somebody pronounce it. From a purist sense, they probably would say that because it doesn't force you to write functional, it's not pure functional. But I think that if you wanted to write code that was pure functional, it would be perfectly fine with it. Let me make it so you can post blogs stuff. I don't know actually how to make it so you can post a link. All right. See, this is why. Yeah. Anyways, Okay, so this is what I was thinking. This line right here. In many cases, you can easily, naturally, and automatically write Rust in a functional style. I'll have to give this a once over. I'm dyslexic, so I read really slowly, and so I don't like to subject my stream to me reading painfully slowly. But in essence, this is what I was saying. Yeah. Yeah, I think that I mean, in theory, people would probably, especially Haskell people, would probably hate me. But you could write C++ functionally if you wanted to, and wanted to force yourself to do that. And it doesn't have all the niceties that Haskell does to support that, but you could do it probably. I think. I've never tried, but I don't see why you couldn't. It would just suck a lot more. I don't know. I brought up C++, which is like the object-oriented C. So I figured pretty much every functional language user would hate me. The C++ algorithms library is fantastic. So I was a chemist in college, and when I was trying to learn, um, functional programming, or not functional programming, but learning to program, I made an Android app. This is how I got my first job, was the Android app. And the second thing I did was I just looked over the algorithms library of the C++ algorithms library. I really like it. It's really well done. Oh, you were a chemistry major? That's really awesome. Or you use the um, C++ algorithms for learning. I'm not sure which me too that was to. All right, so I think one of the things that they do. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I jumped ship because I was a chemical engineer for GE, and all my job basically was to write up a lot of sheets that their lawyers could use that would basically say if you licked their clothes washer and dryer, you probably wouldn't die or get cancer, and it sucked. It was the worst, and part of that was working for GE. Part of that was what chemists can do. I mean, I guess if I went on and got my PhD, I could work in a concrete plant. I don't know. I wanted to build stuff. Oh, you went on and got your PhD in chemistry? Yeah, you're much smarter than I am. My B in chemistry was that was good. I stopped at my undergrad. I attempted to go and get my master's in math and computer science, and I got turned down for both because my undergrad's in chemistry, and while I have a minor in math, they were like, no thanks. And then with computer science, they were like, you didn't even take one computer science class. And I was like, but that's what I do in my day job. And they're like, yeah, no thanks. Oh, I hate you guys. So what I'm looking at here and how they avoid the code smell in join is they actually did what I'm doing in the back end, part of what I'm doing in the back end, upgrade. Okay, we need to new folder, upgrade, apply. And we're going to add a new file. We're going to call this one data. And we're going to add a new file and call this one. One second. What are we going to call it? We have like an init.go. Preflight. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to call it preflight. So we're going to put that one long one here so you can still use the data structure. And that might alleviate some of our problems. Oh, thanks for joining, and please feel free to come hang out. I really enjoyed your conversations, and I actually think that I've come up with a way to fix our code smell so that the next time you join me, um, please feel free to ask me, and I can show you it because I'm going to try to get it implemented tonight. Because yes, I think you were 100% right. Well, I know you're 100% right, and I think that there's a way around it, even with holding to the constructs that we are. So, ask me about it, and I'll show you. Thank you for the follow. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it is for you. Have fun studying your animals. I am super interested, and I'll set my channel to auto host you. If you're doing stuff in Haskell, I'd love to learn. I might ask dumb questions. I mean, I will ask dumb questions. I won't put a might on that. It's absolutely. Um, Sweet. I will come to your channel and expect to learn. Um, if you want to learn how not to do stuff, you can join my channel, and I will teach you how not to do stuff. Oh, that's really cool. At this point in time, I feel like functional programming concepts are really important to learn, whether you do pure functional or not. I think that pure functional has some hurdles to get into the real world. But I think you can write better code if you understand those concepts better. Just like the C++ algorithms libraries. C++ object oriented, but there's a time and place for everything. So maybe you can win me over, and I'll start doing everything in Haskell instead of Go and Rust. But I will definitely check out your stream, and I look forward to it. All right. You have a wonderful rest of your day. All right, so our data structure here, we can actually move. We don't need to share anymore. Sharon is Karen, except in data structures. And then let's pull up. Let's copy this. Not that. This. All right. Not node. This is apply. Yeah, this bleeding edge Go language server is choking a little. It's a little choky. It does not like this. It's like it gets hung up on something, and then like it doesn't have the full word. It's like it's applying the semicolon too early. Oh man, that fixed it by. So this is a problem with the language server. Has to implement the semicolon. So technically, all end of lines in Go have to have a semicolon, but they allow you to not do it, and the compiler will go through and stick all of the stuff on there for you. The problem is this language server is not doing it properly. So if you don't know what a language server is, it's basically the thing that gives you real-time updates with like where this is used and if it's a compilation error or whatnot. That is what the language server does. So that's how Visual Studio and Vim and those things use those. And this one, I think its problem is it doesn't apply the semicolon accurately all the time. Oops, I actually grabbed the wrong one here. I don't. Yeah, we still need the client set as well. I just didn't grab both. All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and I have a very long weekend ahead of me, so I'm going to get off. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. And I will see you all. Let's see. I might. Yeah, I probably won't stream tomorrow. Probably not. Yeah, probably not. It'll probably be a week before I stream again. So I will see you guys all a week from Tuesday. Hopefully Tuesday I will release a new video as well for the Kubernetes the hardest way. And no promises, but I'm going to be working on a video for another Kubernetes thing. So we'll see. We'll see. Thanks everyone for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And yeah, I gotta go hang out with family. I'm gonna not see them for a week, and so I should go do some stuff with them.